Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode. So, this is going to be a theory and fingerboard kind of a talk. And so, I brought this guitar along with me to maybe demonstrate a few things, but I'm going to mostly talk about kind of shapes and stuff on the guitar as they relate to the 5-1. So, there are different progressions, obviously. 2-5 progressions, 2-5-1 progressions, 5-1 progressions. And so one thing I've found very beneficial, excuse me, is to think about short progressions and really try to get inside the movement from one chord to another. So that 5-1 is really kind of fundamental to that. So let's say we have a G7 here, and we go to C major 9 or something like that. We have tension and release, or you could have kind of lack of tension and then tension. Okay. We can also apply this to minor. So we could have a 5-1 and going to a minor chord. And of course, all those chords, there are sort of a variety of things. So we were taking a short progression, like a 5-1, and we're going to apply a specific scale to it. So let's say I'm thinking about a 5 and then a 1. 5, 1. Okay, so moving between those two things. So what you should hear is a little bit of a division of the scale. So in this case, the major scale. Okay, and so I'm being a little bit selective about the one chord. I'm playing C major pentatonic, so I'm selecting out the two of the notes, those two, which are tensions. Okay, so we get this. So in terms of tones, we get the 5 to the 1, but we're trying to do this melodically and using the pentatonic scale. So we get something like that, for example. So we have the C major pentatonic, which gives us more of the consonant sort of flavors of the C chord. So in this case, I'm playing a C6-9 chord, and then and so less so of the major 7. So we're not really including it because that it really is kind of a dissonance on that chord. So melodically, we're having this sort of equivalent idea in harmony. So we've got very open sort of sound. Now the dominant 7, we can use the dominant pentatonic. Okay, and you might also think of that in terms of the like a D minor 6 sort of pentatonic scale. So that can give us a little bit of the tension. So we in the dominant pentatonic we have these notes. Right? So okay. So let's take an opportunity to write some of these out. I think I may include this in a podcast. I'm not sure how well it's going to translate, but I'm playing a little guitar here and talking. But members on the YouTube channel have the benefit of seeing some other visuals here. So let's pull up all of that. But we'll just kind of write out some shapes, and I'll describe a little bit of what I just talked about. All right, so let's bring out a few tones here and kind of write some things out. So what I'll do is I'll start out with, let's say, kind of the notes in a C major scale in basically second and third positions. All right, and that way we can highlight some of those tones that we're using for the pentatonics. So we have a 7-note scale, which is a C major scale, and then we're omitting 2 notes in order to come up with a pentatonic scale. So here's a simple C major scale there. Let's expand that to give ourselves a little more range. So we'll move up through first string, and go down too. So we'll have fret 2, right? All right, so there we have a nice pattern, kind of full range. So hopefully my guitar levels are coming through. Looks like it might be want to be a little bit louder. It's got a little different than my typical setup. So we'll check these out down here. So we'll play these. Maybe I'll have a, sort of a red center to them, and we'll start with the C major pentatonic here. All right, so let's try 1 octave first, hear how that sounds. All right, so we get, so you could see and maybe hear that these 2 notes are omitted, these 2 in the middle here. All right, and then we'll have an entire position to work with. And this will give us the sound of the C major pentatonic. Okay, so we get that, and then so those are coming out of straight out of this, but you see we're not playing, we're not including these some of these notes, right, through the center. All right. Okay. Now let's take a look at the dominant pentatonic. So really just move a couple of these notes around. Okay. And so like I did earlier, we had this B and the F and B, and then those kind of move out C to get a resolution. So that's a very, kind of fundamental sort of thing going on there. So, right, so it sounds a little tense. And then you can really hear, the C chord and how that all kind of works. So so let's move back to a regular screen here. All right, now the kind of trick, which we won't really go over today, but kind of the idea is play that all over the neck. So one thing you could do is take 4 notes of each. So take 4 notes of the dominant pentatonic and take 4 notes of the C major pentatonic, and just kind of move back and forth. Okay, so there we get, really kind of outlining the 5 and then the 1. And then we can also take this and apply it to minor as well. And you can have the 5 chord. I can take that and alter that a little bit. So let's play around with that. And you can use this one really for going to major or minor. So why don't we start with that? So we'll take something called, let's duplicate this first. So we're going to take this note, let's see, move it down here. So this is the 6. We're going to make it like a flat 6. So let's start with that. So that's called the harmonic major. Okay, so what do we do with this pentatonic scale? Well, just move this down. I'm going to move this one over here. One thing that's kind of nice about pentatonic is you can keep it 2 notes per string. So I'm going to just move this 1 note down here to 1st fret for the harmonic major scale. Now this one is pretty cool. So you go, okay, so you get a flat 9, right? So you get a G7 flat 9 sort of sound. Let's label some of these things. So G7 flat 9, C, C harmonic major. Okay. Now this does sort of disrupt the C major pentatonic if you're trying to pull that out of this scale, but we don't necessarily need to do that. So we're really thinking more about the 5 chord right now, and thinking about ways that we can maybe dial up some tension, but also just to think as well about developing 5-1 in minor. So let's take that next step. So in order to do that, what we're going to do is take the kind of really keep the same dominant pentatonic scale, but what we're going to do is take the scale that we had up above here, and instead of having a major 3rd, we'll have a minor 3rd. We'll just lower the 3rd. All right, and then we get harmonic minor. All right, so the sound of harmonic minor. So, right, and of course, think about a minor type chord. Okay, and then we get the sound of the dominant pentatonic, which really fits into both the harmonic minor scale and the harmonic major. So it works well with both harmonic minor in this case. And this is still the G7 flat 9. Okay, so we're progressing here. We've got this sort of sound going to what we'll do next, which is where we're going to end it for today, which is the C minor scale. So, well, C minor chord, and I'm going to I'll show you a couple of little things with that maybe. Okay, so what we're going to do is think a little bit more about the where we're going, where we're headed to. So the C minor kind of chords. So we'll erase some of these things. And maybe what I'll do is, to avoid confusion, I'll switch screen over a little bit and just set up kind of just to start with. Well, maybe it won't be confusing. Maybe I'll, it's probably interesting to sort of see and visualize sort of the differences. So we're gonna we're gonna bump up that 6 chord. The sixth note of the scale, for the C minor. We're gonna get this melodic minor. And then down here, this is not going to fit anymore, and we're not looking for a G chord right now anyway, so we're going to think about the C minor 6 pentatonic. Okay, so we'll get that all lined up happening here. All right, so you can kind of see that, and then for anyone who's maybe checking this out on the podcast, I'll play a little bit. So we've got I'm just gonna play a 1 octave scaled melodic minor. Okay, and then the pentatonic. So that's minor 6 pentatonic. So it's like a minor pentatonic, but it has rather than a flat 7, it has a 6 in it. Okay. So that is one option there for the tonic minor. So say melodic minor. Okay, and then we have this minor 6 dominant, or not dominant, minor 6 pentatonic. Okay, so let's do one more thing. I know I said that was going to be the last thing, but this is kind of related, so I just want to talk about this a little bit. So another tonic minor kind of sound that we can use is the minor scale. So we're going to take the 7 down half step. Maybe I'll add another note whip here. And then we have a flat 7. And then we could use kind of the same minor 6 pentatonic as well, so that it fits into both of those. So all those notes are included in both of those. And then you could also use the minor pentatonic as well. All right. Well, I forgot to mention that it's I've got some fans going, so I'm hoping the audio is okay. But kind of squeezing this in between a few lessons here, so just wanting to get you out something to work on. Let me know if you have any questions, and we'll see you all in the next one. Be sure to visit, if you're checking this out on the podcast, be sure to visit fretprints.com. All right, I'll see you all in the next one.